Hello and welcome to today's live English lesson. Welcome to AM Language. It's 3 o'clock instead of 4 o'clock, and you're with Richie. I hope you're all doing well, and hopefully everybody remembers that this week and from this week on, it's going to be at 3 o'clock. Roberto, good afternoon. Welcome to today's lesson. Thank you for joining. I hope all of you had a good weekend. Arena F, Privyet, welcome to today's lesson. As always, thank you for joining us. Let's see, we've already got 5 people. Okay, Leondina, hi Richard, good afternoon. Buon pomeriggio. Good afternoon. Welcome to today's lesson. In today's lesson, we are going to look at a particular topic that we have looked at a couple of times, but we need to develop it a little bit. So in today's lesson, we are going to develop this. We're going to try and build our sentences carefully, because this is an area that no matter what level you are at, it can still be a problem. So we're going to look at all these different types, and we're going to see how we can get around it. Elena, good afternoon. Welcome to today's lesson, and thank you for joining. So, like I said, guys, I hope everyone is doing well. We are now, we are now halfway through November. So we are now getting closer and closer to the Christmas season as well. Which is something to look forward to. As always, please make sure you follow the lesson in the live chat section, whether you're watching it now or whether you're watching later, because that is where the action is. Now, just to let you know, guys, this week, what you can expect in terms of what's happening at school. Obviously, this evening, it's a Monday, so you will have meet and greet. That is an option. Tomorrow, during the day, you have the opportunity to go to Valletta, and in the evening, there's also the opportunity to go and play a football match. There's also an opportunity to go to the Intercontinental Hotel for a spa session. Wednesday, you've got the Cool Explorer Pass. So I think this is taking you somewhere to the south of Malta, is it? Where does it take you? It takes you to Imdina, Mostar. Okay, so it doesn't take you to the south of Malta. My mistake. But in the evening, there's a Sip and Paint Malta Glow in the Dark. I'm going to be honest with you. I've never tried this, so I can't tell you I can't give you my personal experience of this activity. Thursday, you've got options such as horse riding, scuba diving, and then in the evening you've got an amazing night, billiard, which is pool basically, and dinner. Friday, you've got the opportunity to go to Burgu. You've also got the opportunity to go to Imdina, some other sites as well. Saturday, Gozo, Camino, and there's a zip line activity you can do. And Sunday, you've got what looks like Explorer Pass again, and something called El Arcatano, but I don't know what that translates to. I'm guessing this is a part of Malta, and I can see an animal. So I'm guessing it's something to do with animals. As for what's happening in our sessions this week on this channel, lessons wise, today we've got verb patterns. Do you use the infinitive or the gerund? So today we're just going to try and see if we know when to use which version of the verb pattern. Tuesday, which is tomorrow, we're going to talk about the future. Wednesday, what is a prefix and when do I use them? This is a good one. Thursday, Shakespeare idioms. I do suggest you join me on Thursday for that. And Friday, preposition quiz. Again, something I do recommend you guys come along to, come and join me for, because prepositions are annoying and you can never ever look at too many prepositions. It's now been 5 minutes, so let's get into the lesson and let's make sure my laptop does not run out of battery. So we're going to start off with some exercises, and you guys are just going to try and tell me which are correct to begin with. So before we even go into anything, let's just see what you guys already know. Alida, good afternoon. Buenos dias from where you are in the world, in Patagonia. So in some cases, both answers are going to be correct. Maybe only one answer is going to be correct. So let's see what you guys say about this. And I'm going to put my phone on silent as well, because I don't want... it's always good to have your phone on silent, actually. So let's have a little look. The first one. B. So which one is correct? A, B, or both? So that's the way it's going to work. Roberto says A, Alida says A, Elena says A, and A is correct. Well done, guys. Good. Okay, yeah, so we're off to a good start. Let's see how you do with the next one. We managed to increase sales, or we managed increasing sales. Alida, quick in there again with A. Leandina agrees. Elena says A as well. Arena F says A. And Roberto says A. Then A is the correct answer. Well done. Good, guys. Okay, let's move on to the next one. I wish doing something exciting. Or B, I wish to do something exciting. Is it A, is it B, or is it both? What do you guys think? Where's my water? There we go. I'll need a quick in again with B. Arena F, B. Leandina says B. Roberto says B. Okay, guys, and the answer is B is the correct answer. Well done. We're doing well so far. Let's look at the next one. She hates working in that place, or B, she hates to work in that place. Roberto comes up with A. Leandina says A as well. Irina F agrees that it's A, and Alida as well. And A is the correct answer. Elena says both. In this case, only A. She hates working in that place. She hates to work in that place is not a verb pattern we would go for. In this case, it's got to be she hates working in that place. Don't worry, though. We will discover why. Let's look at the next one. I love to run in the morning. I love running in the morning. Is it A, is it B, or is it both? Alida says both. Most of you are saying B. Okay, the answer here, Elena says that she thinks both. Okay, there are two parts to this answer. First answer is yes, both are correct. But B is the better option. Okay, so yes, you can say both. You can say I love to run in the morning and I love running in the morning. Both are technically correct. However, B, the verb pattern with the gerund, I love running in the morning, is the better option. If you go with A is maybe something, is very basic English. It's what you would learn at a beginner level to express, say, basic communication when someone asks you about hobby. However, once we get past the beginner and elementary stage of English, we need to start using the gerund form with this type of verb. We will discover why. Let's look at the next one. Okay, so this is A and this is B. Okay, so he enjoys to play football or he enjoys playing football. Roberto says B. Alida says B. What does everyone else think, though? Leondina says both, and Arena F says B. Elena says B. In this case, B is correct, and it can only be B. So what can we see from this? Okay, we've got words like enjoy, love, hate. Okay. Um, and then on the other side of things, we've got verbs like wish, manage, decide. What's the difference between these verbs? Why are we choosing to use the infinitive with one, and we're choosing to use the gerund with the other? Now, generally speaking, when it comes to talking about activities, okay, we tend to, which means usually, we tend to use the gerund form. And in some cases, we must use it. Okay. Verb of states with ing. Yes, that's correct. Now, the gerund form, just to give you an idea, okay, the gerund form is your verb plus your verb ing, such as enjoy doing. Okay, so that's what the gerund is. And when it comes to talking about activities, things that we enjoy doing, like doing, hate doing, dislike, you name it, we are going to use this form. We tend to use this. Preferences is another way of looking at it. Yes, We have to be careful with the context of preference, granted, but when if it's a preference to do with activities, yes, that is exactly what we're doing. So when we look at the other words like wish, what do we have? We had wish, manage, decide. Here we're talking about a very different type of verb. This type of verb is what we could say would be thought or decision making verb. Okay, equals the to infinitive form. Now, this here is a general rule of thumb, which is an idiom we looked at last week. Okay, it's a general rule. So there might always be some exceptions, but for the most of the time, this will work. So if it's a thought or decision-making verb, like decide, for instance, manage, wish, then we are going to use this type of verb form. We can also extend it to certain action, like an action verb, where an action happens, like ask, for example. So this creates the two areas that we can operate in. So with that, let's see if you guys can now do the next activity. I'm going to write 1 to 2 sentences that are incorrect. You guys need to try and correct the sentence. So if I write, for example, she like, let's say I write, she decided making bread. For example, let's say I write that. You guys would come in and say she decided to make bread because that would be the correct answer. So this is going to be a correction exercise. For those of you who are taking the well, any level test really at AM Language, whether it's the elementary one next week, pre-intermediate tomorrow, intermediate, upper intermediate, there's always a task where it comes to you have to correct the sentences. And correcting the sentences can be really difficult unless we know exactly what we are supposed to be doing. So this exercise here is how you go about trying to correct the mistakes. So let's get into it. A. Let's begin. Let's go with okay, let's have a go at this. This is A. You've got 2 sentences with A. So she asked seeing John, but he wasn't available. She wished speaking with him about a project they were working on. Let's see if you guys can correct that sentence. Those 2 sentences. So once you're ready, just tell me, just write the correct sentence and we'll see if you are correct. It is definitely a tricky one at times. This is never going to be completely easy, but there's some useful language there that can definitely help. Roberta is coming quite quickly. She asked to see John, but he wasn't available. She wished to speak with him about a project they were working on. Well, thank you very much, Roberto. If you agree with Roberto, please let me know in the live comments. Do you have the same answer? Or maybe you think something different. Maybe you think that is not necessarily the correct answer. And then we can see. Okay, so Arena F agrees. A leader has come out with, she asked to see John, but he wasn't available. She wanted to speak with him about a project they were working on. So that's the same as Roberto. Arena F agrees. Elena has put asked to see and wished to speak. So that's the same answer. And Leondina has said she asked to see John, but he wasn't available. She wished to speak with him about a project they were working on. So all of you agree, and that is 100% correct. So well done. Let's move on. Exercise B. Happening here. So B, he disliked to listening to rap music. He preferred to listen to rock music instead. What do you guys think about this? Maybe you agree with some parts of the sentence, maybe, or two. Okay, there are two sentences, so maybe you agree with one, disagree with the other. Maybe you think both sentences are wrong. We've got preferred here, so this could cause a little bit of problems. Let's see what you guys come out with. But don't forget, preferred, it goes back into terms of your preferences, of activities. So that should give you a clue. A leader has said he disliked listening to rap music. He preferred listening to rock music instead. Okay. So a leader has gone with that. She's changed both sentences. Let's see if everyone else agrees with her. Leondina says he disliked listening to rap music. He preferred to listen to rock music instead. Roberto said he disliked listening to rap music. He preferred listening to rock music. We've got disliked listening and preferred to listen. Okay, let's see what the answer is here. Part one of this. Okay, so we're looking at B. Okay, part one. What we can say is disliked. Disliked dislike listening. Yes, absolutely. Part two. Okay, if you put I preferred or he preferred to listen, the meaning isn't lost, but we are going with this word, this verb prefer. This is again goes back to things you enjoy or like or dislike or activities, your hobbies, your interests, your preferences. And therefore, when you use the word prefer, okay, or in the past, preferred plus verb ing. Okay, so this has to be used with the gerund form. This has to be used with the gerund form. So in this case, it's going to be preferred listening to rock music. So that's going to be the answer there. Remember, if it's something to do with activity, your hobbies, your preferences, it's more likely to be the gerund. Okay, let's go into this one. C. This is probably going to be the hardest one. Let's see what you guys come out with. They chose going with plan B. They chose going with plan B. They thought to go with plan A would be risky. Now, this might be the hardest one because there could be an exception somewhere within all this. And I'm going to, and I will take an opportunity to explain a little bit about this exception. However, think carefully. So Roberto says, the chose, oh, sorry, I must apologize. That's not supposed to be the, that's supposed to be they. They chose. Sorry, I didn't realize that I left out the Y. Okay, so we're going to go with they. Yes, so Roberta says they chose to go with plan B. They thought going with plan A would be risky. Alida said they chose to go with plan B. They thought going with plan A would be risky. So both of you came out with the same answer. Arena F, they choose to go with plan B. They thought going. Okay, let's see if there are any more answers. Maybe we can see if what the majority of people think here. Elena says chose to go with and they thought going with. Okay, part one of this. Okay, part one. They chose to go with. Yes, this is a decision. They chose. So we're not going to go, they chose going. However, part two, yes, it's thought going with. Now, this is, oh, that's the wrong one. Sorry, let me say that again. Part two. Thought going with. Okay, so yes, you might say to yourself, but isn't think a decision when you is why is it not the same as decide? Okay, right. Well, like I said, this is a general rule, so there are going to be some exceptions. But when you use thought, more often than not, we're going to go with the gerund, such as I thought doing this. I okay, so I thought doing this. You could even add I thought about doing this, for example. We thought we thought what did I go with? Yeah, we thought blah blah blah, whatever the thing is. Thought going to X, place X, wherever X may be. So there's always a possibility that you might have to go with thought and the verb ing, such as to do something or going. About is something we would often fit in. So I thought about studying English, for example. This is a normal thing. So it's the same as I thought of going to San Diego. No, let's go to LA. Okay. I I keep on forgetting the T. I thought of going to LA. So this is something very much unto itself. Um, if you're asking, is this the same with think? Well, if we were to say, I will think of going. So the answer is yes. So think, or the verb think, is an exception here. Usually we're going to go with the gerund, but we need to remember that there's probably going to be a preposition in between there, of or about. Good. Okay, guys, so we're now going to move on to the last part of this lesson. And this lesson, though, this is now up to you guys to try and create your own sentences, and we'll see how you guys do. I'm going to ask a question, and then you guys need to tell me in the live chat. Okay, so let's go with this first one. We'll start off nice and easy, and we'll slowly make things a little bit harder. So the first question is, what are your favorite hobbies? Let's see what you guys do, because it's one thing being able to correct the mistake, then we need to be able to write the whole sentence ourselves. And then we will gradually make this a little bit more difficult. So I'm going to start off with an easier question, and then I'm going to gradually make this a little bit harder. Alida says, I like cycling and jogging. Okay, so that's a good start. Well done, Alida. Let's see if anyone else would like to come in. Elena says, I like reading books and dancing. Roberta says, my favorite hobbies are running, reading, watching sci-fi movies. Okay. Now let's up the difficult. Well, let me put another question. Okay. Leondina says, I like reading, listening to music, and swimming. Good. Well done. What about this one? What have you managed to do this year? Now, this is a difficult question anyway because of the pandemic, but you can relate this down to taking up new hobbies, a change of job, developing new skills, change of lifestyle. So it doesn't always have to be about work. It can, again, be to do with lifestyle. It could be to do with hobbies. It could even be down to something of change of diet or change of exercise routine. Maybe you've gone from watching a lot of Netflix to reading more books. The question is, what have you managed to do this year? So if this were me, I would say, I mean, okay, we're good to use the word manage here. But for me, it would be something like I've managed to read more books than I have ever done before, for example. So let me know what you have managed to do this year. Let's see what your answers is and what your answer is going to be. And then we'll up the question again, just making it a bit more difficult as we go along. So during this year, I managed to leave my job in Dublin, move to Malta, and to begin a new English course. Okay, we'll have a little look at that. And Alida says, I managed to take online English lessons. Excellent, well done. So I just want to have a little look at this one, Roberto. So you did some good things here. Elena says, I managed to start my new course to discover a new profession. Excellent, Elena. I'm very happy to hear that. So during this, now here what we can do this, it's still this year. So we can say during this past year, comma, I managed to leave my job in Dublin, move to Malta, and instead of begin, we need to remain in the past. So, and began. So we don't need the to there. We can just go with and began a new English course. And then that would be perfect. So you were really close, Roberto. Just don't forget when you're in the past and began instead of and to begin. We don't need that. And second of all, when you're talking about this year, but the year hasn't quite finished, you can go with this time marker during this past year. That works. So good, well done. Now, let's look at this. Now, guys, be careful with this one. This is definitely the hardest question of the lot. Okay. What life changes do you wish to make based on your preferred lifestyle? Now, this is the hardest one, and you are going to have to try and jump between the infinitive and the gerund. Now, here, think about your lifestyle. Think of what you like doing. Maybe you like to be outdoors, hiking, traveling. Or, sorry, I'm trying to swallow at the same time. Or are you the sort of person who likes to be indoors a lot, watching movies or reading? Maybe it's something to do with your diet, for example, trying to change your diet in some sort of way, or your exercise regime. I changed my exercise regime for a while, but I'm unable to continue that at the moment. I do look forward to when I can go to the gym again. It's definitely difficult, uh, just based on space, not having the space to actually go to the gym to do certain things. Um, it could be a number of things. So let me know what your answer is. But you do need to think about, okay, you've got this wish to, so things that you still want to do in the future, changes you still want to make, that you wish to make. But then you've got this preferred lifestyle. So then you're going to have to try and explain a little bit about your lifestyle. So if it were me, I would say, I wish to do more exercise because I prefer being in shape, for example. Um, I prefer exercising in a gym. So I wished, yeah, you could say I wish to return to the gym because I prefer exercising in it. So that would be one answer. Leondina says, I wish to buy a house on the beach as I love seeing the sea. Okay, I think that's lovely. I think that's a good sentence. As I love seeing the sea, I love watching the sea, I love looking out at the sea. You've got lots of ways that you could phrase that. Beaches, I love seeing the sea. You could even say, as I love being by the sea. That's another one as well. I love being by the sea. So you got a few options there, Leondina, but I'm glad that you used the verb construction correctly. I wish to buy and I love seeing. So well done. In terms of what we are looking at today, making sure we can give this a tick. I think that's a good sentence. Let's see what the others have to say. Maybe they have something similar. I love the sea. I love being by the sea. I would say this, by the way, guys. This is a very common expression to say when we want to be in a place, let's say by the sea or in the mountains. We would often use the word being. So I love being in the mountains. I love being by the sea. I love being in the countryside. I love being in a big city. So whenever we talk about where we want to be, we're going to end up with love being. Okay, this is a common one. So remember that, love being. I mean, I love being in the mountains and I love being by the sea. So my dream would be to be in a place where I am by the sea and I can see the mountains. Alida says, I wish to hang up with my friends more. Oh, hang out. That's the phrasal verb you're looking for. Okay, so to be with friends, the phrasal verb is hang out. Okay, so I wish to hang out with my friends more often because I prefer spending time with them and not alone. Yes, that's a good sentence, Alida. Very well done. Roberto says he would like to go running more often. He would like to go running more and read at least 2 English books by the end of the year. Okay, I think in the context of the way you've written, I think that's okay, Roberto. And I would say here you've got the option to say and would prefer reading more as well. You could go with that. But in terms of what you've said, Roberto, I don't think there's anything too wrong with that, to be honest. I'd like to go. I mean, that's a very common expression as well. So that's absolutely fine with the verb would. I'd like to go. Could you say I would like running more often? Yeah, you could say I would like running more often, but I think the thing with would, it's so heavily linked. The modal verb is so heavily linked with to. I would like to. So I'm not going to pull you up on that one. I think I would like to go running more. I'm going to say that's absolutely fine. And that is because of the modal verb would. Elena says, I wish to discover more about business coaching. I would just put in and I would prefer starting my own business, and I would prefer starting my own business. And oh yeah, okay, let's go with this. I wish to discover more about business coaching. Full stop. I prefer starting my own business. I prefer starting my own company. I think here you could put in I would, because this sounds hypothetical. So you could put in I would prefer starting my own company. Okay, guys. Good. Well done. So overall, I think that's good. We can leave it there for today. Tomorrow, guys, make sure you join. We're going to talk about the future, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, we're going to talk about the future tomorrow. So let's look forward to that. Thank you so much for joining, as always. A big thank you, by the way, to Elena, Alida, Roberto, Leondina, Arena F, and anyone else and everyone else who's been watching the lesson today. Please make sure you subscribe if you're new, and like and share as well. We're now up to 532 subscribers, so we're doing well. Let's see if we can get to 40. Alida says thanks. Arena says thanks. Roberto as well. Leondina as well. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend, everybody. No, not a great weekend. It's Monday. Have a great week, and I'll have a great evening, and I'll see you tomorrow at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. 3 o'clock. Thank you very much, guys. Take care, and bye for now.